God is good, and with each day that passes brings us a day closer to the launch of Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. Today I want to talk about questing and rewards and expectations from various points of view. Please understand that since the words fallen are coming from my mouth on my channel, they are of course going to be heavily steeped in my opinion, but I will be as subjective as I can in a game that hasn't launched yet. Before we begin though, if you are new here, please consider subscribing, especially if you are interested in Pantheon, old school MMORPGs, RPGs, CRPGs, all that kind of stuff, because that is what we do here. Also, big shout out to the members of Napalm for supporting this channel and making this all possible. If you are interested in becoming a member and getting exclusive perks, please click the join button down below for options and information. Now, let's talk about quests. I want to start by outlining expectations from two different viewpoints. First, and probably the most popular at this point in development amongst the fans, are the EverQuest fans. We fondly remember helling every NPC in hopes that we might find a new quest. We had no question marks above the heads of the townsfolks. We had no quest hubs. We just looked for quests or asked people where to find quests. We found items from drops marked as they were for a quest, and then we scrambled around to find out who had that quest. Questing was an adventure of mystery and intrigue. It was something we took our time to figure out. There wasn't very much in the way of hand-holding, and we felt very rewarded for finishing it or figuring it out. Also, the rewards. Although there was some XP involved sometimes, it wasn't usually that great in my opinion, but of course there were exceptions. Quests that were good for the item reward and usually very specific to help certain classes. But overall, from the journey perspective, EverQuest was just simply more chill, if I'm not too old to use such a term. We got our XP from grinding out mobs in groups, okay? But then we had the modern MMO player, who is more akin to questing for leveling up and jumping quest hub to quest hub, grinding out or running dungeons in between only to help fill out some gaps where the quests don't give enough XP to move to the next quest hub. So this is so rampant in the modern MMO that it's very common to see people complain when the quests aren't enough XP and they have to go run a dungeon over and over in order to get the next quest hub. Actually complaining that they have to take a break from running around mindlessly with quest markers and brain-numbing tasks repeatedly for hours on end. It's hard for an old school MMO player to digest, but it's the reality of the modern MMO player. Now, I could go into a complete tirade rant on why that is and what happened to get people to that point, but instead, I'm going to try to stay focused because it's time to talk about Pantheon. So Pantheon will also have quests that are found by talking to NPCs, but in a much more modern sense, as in, NPCs will be talking, saying things that make you think, wait a minute, that sounds like they might have a quest or task I can do. Upon speaking with them, you may find the quest you're looking for, and is this just a standard quest where anybody that talks to this person gets this quest? Or is it a perception quest that needs certain requirements in order to even hear the before mentioned conversation to spark the ability to take the quest? Well, it appears to me from the conversations we've heard over the years that there will be the presence of both. There are standard quests that you talk to certain NPC, although they will not have a giant exclamation above their head or anything like that, and they have a quest, maybe only restricted by if you're a high enough level or not, right? A typical quest, a standard quest. Then there are the perception quests, which I have many videos about on my channel. Please check that out if you want more information about that in high detail. But these are basically these complicated, at least complicated under the hood type quest system that makes it nigh near impossible to just simply have a guide for online, because the requirements for each perception system is steeped in so many variables, such as, have you been to X place? Have you talked to Y person? What did you respond with to Z question? Do you have X item in your inventory? Did you do Y action during Z event? All these kind of things, your class, your race, many various things go into the perception system that can actually change the quest, make it not even an option to where you see it, the response from the NPC, and so much more. This is where Pantheon is going into revolutionary grounds with their questing system, but it is not the only questing system. But what about the rewards? So we have established that there are several ways quests will go, and let's talk about what you get. First of all, I have to mention that some of these quests are for lore. These will be tied to the perception system in which you will notice something, you will try to investigate it, and you will get a reaction and get to dive deeper into finding out what this thing you noticed or thought looked cool means or does. This is more of a sort of horizontal progression in order to tier up or skill up or level up your perception, which leads to being able to do more perception and finding out more things about the world, as well as filling out your keeper status. So your reward seems to be to find out more information, but could also lead to some small rewards in the form of items maybe, or a bit of copper, silver, gold perhaps. But then there will be typical quests that we have been referring to as standard quests that may give you some resources, perhaps a recipe for a crafting skill, some copper or silver, some items. But even with these rewards, I think it is important to understand that you will not be relying on these quests to gear up your toon. Will there be some things that help? I'm sure there will be. But Pantheon's development is very tied to their tenet of with great risk comes great reward. So you should not expect to go kill 10 rats and get the uber ultra purple stat filled best in slot for your level chess piece. If a reward from a quest is something awesome, you better bet that this quest will be difficult, probably require a group, a lot of planning, and an epic feat to take place to get something epic in return. I want to also mention that there are quest lines out there in the world of Terminus that will reward you with special abilities. Expect these to take a long time. And when I say a long time, I don't mean something you accomplish within the day. These will take weeks, perhaps a month. These are goals. They will not be simply handed to you because the reward is great. Therefore, so is the risk. Simply knowing the world has such secrets to go out and find and get, such as the classic wise old sage on top of a mountain in a remote area, tucked away in an ancient cavern, blocked by epic monsters, trials and tribulations, and then sending you out in the world to learn and acquire this special epic ability is just another reason that Pantheon is going to melt your life away and keep you addicted to logging back in to get some more progress done, and is the ultimate example of how to engage your player base. Now, I understand that probably the majority of people following the game at this point probably know about these special secret abilities that they exist, but imagine all the new players who just dive into the game after launch without the privilege of watching 750 videos pre-launch about all the features and finding out about this organically, and how impactful that will be to find out that they need to go out on this great journey to acquire this great ability. Also, how much fun would it be to learn these things when the game is fresh, to run across it yourself perhaps organically? The amount of excitement felt by the entire server and community as we all rush to figure it out and come to terms with what it will take to accomplish. Because at the end of the day, I believe that this is what makes MMORPGs great. It's all about the exploration, the adventure, the community, the socialization, and honestly just feeling like you're playing D&D with thousands of other people. Getting something awesome in D&D, a really good piece of gear, is not something that happens all the time, and it's something that you get super excited about. It's something you got super excited about in the old days of EverQuest, and it's something that you're going to get very excited about in Pantheon. I just want to make sure that everybody understands that we're not, number one, going to be running around questing all the time. That's not the core of what Pantheon is. And number two, that if there is a great reward with a quest, it's going to be a very long quest, and it's going to be difficult, and it's going to take a lot of effort and a lot of risk, basically, to get that reward. Because I know this, because it's a tenant, and they have stuck to their tenets 100%. So let me know in the comments down below, guys. You can talk to me about a time or experience in a game or D&D or whatever in which you had this experience where you went on an epic quest line to acquire something, how long it took you, or your opinions on how you feel about the way that Pantheon is approaching questing and rewards, and if you think it's great or if you think it's horrible. Let me know in the comments down below, and of course you may want to also discuss how this is going to affect new modern MMO players, since they're more used to just running quests and getting the gear that they need for that particular level, because their game is just totally different. Let me know in the comments down below, and also guys, please like the video, and if you are new here, please subscribe to the channel and help us out. We just recently topped 7,000 subscribers at the time of this recording. I'm super stoked to be that much closer to my 10,000 goal that I want it to get to by the end of the year. And if you are a super fan of the Nathan Napalm and you want to help support this channel so that I can make more content and spend more time here doing things for the channel and in higher quality, then please consider becoming a member by clicking the join button down below. You do receive special perks and a special shout out to the members of Napalm for supporting the channel and me. And until next time guys, God bless and happy gaming. Please listen to what I say. I've been making videos all day. It's a video buffet, you can even hit replay. But please just subscribe. I can't even describe being part of my tribe. I'll even offer you a prize, but just please just subscribe and hit the bell notification too.